500 miles. Are you going to Zoom?
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you got Zoom?
Yes, I do.
Oh, you're one step ahead of some people. We got sound out there by the sound of it, and they probably can hear you through Discord if anyone's in Discord. No, Scott's in Discord. He'll probably just lurk in there. I see Dick was out in the peanut gallery. Anyone that's out in the peanut gallery is welcome to join if they like. Adam says he's waking up in 4 hours. Well, okay. I don't know what Dick's up to.
Oh.
If you need the special place link, Dick, I'm not sure if you've got it. Just check to see if Dick's got it. Where is he? It's not showing online. Yeah, the other couple of other blokes and Pip are still streaming. I know I'm a bit early today. No, yeah, Dick, you've got the special place link if you wanted to join. It's in Discord. Well, what I was going to do is just share a little bit of Aaron Ra talking, but he's not talking at the moment over on Team Skeptics channel about that debate that they had the other day. Aaron Ra's not on camera at the moment. He's gone for his AFK. But it does show that debate, the typical Flurfer Glober type arguments, not arguments, but conversations. And it just ends up in like an argument, not so much a debate. I'm free in 30 minutes tops. Oh, okay. Well, I'll be still here, Dick. Title suggestion, Terry's been paroled. Yeah, that's right, Jinx. Yeah, I'm still on parole. I don't know how long the parole period goes for, though. Alright, I'll put it over to there for a minute. We might get something out of this.
I let two of them in.
Damn,
The
Terry,
big stupid one.
Pardon?
I was going to say I was talking to you, but I was bloody muted.
Well, I'm
Yeah,
putting
it
it
sounds
over
an awful lot like my
onto
cats. They will scratch at my
Teams for a
bedroom
minute.
door at night to get let in, so I get out of bed, open the door, and she'd just stand there looking at me and then run to the kitchen. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, mine just wants to hang out in the backyard, but he wants me out there too.
See,
Look, Daddy, look what I'm doing.
I seriously thought there was going to be a plot twist that it wasn't actually his dog, it was Geo, because Nathan got wrecked so bad that Geo ran away and found his way to Aaron. It was like, please take care of me.
That dog.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I guarantee you.
I think they've already had the conversation about the debate by the look of it already.
100%. 100%.
I'm guessing they have.
Yeah. Because that's what it was supposed to be, a review
So
of the
Aaron,
debate.
just to give you an idea of how much I dislike that piece of shit, I told the chat to rate how much I dislike, because they know me pretty well. How much do I dislike Nathan Thompson?
Yeah, I think we've missed that bit.
I would guess the amount he dislikes Nathan Thompson is probably about a gazillion out of 10.
Normally, I'm in my.
Wait, there's too many. I can't approve that many. Fuck you, Nathans. Hold on. Slow down.
Normally, I'm in my Artistic Encounter tattoo. Are you familiar with Artistic Encounter, Aaron Raw?
Are they in Dallas?
Yes. Billy Jack Gunter, good friend of mine. Good friend.
A long time. I was a tattooist myself. Before we started recording, we were talking about how you told me years ago. Well, 20 years ago, a little bit, well, 25 years ago now, I was a tattooist in the Dallas area. So I mean, if you told me anything about any part of my life now, it would wholly unreal to my situation back then.
That is, Aaron, if I can ask you a question real quick. It's one thing I've always been curious about, because I recently have gotten into watching your stuff. What was the kind of the moment that that pretty much projected you into this line of work?
Well, there's never just one thing, is it? I mean,
it truly builds.
Yeah, I mean, and it's a bizarre story. I mean, the last tattoo I did professionally was used by the police to identify the body of a drug dealer who was murdered by people I knew while I was in a child custody battle against a stripper.
Oh,
wow, that escalated quickly.
No, that sounds like Dallas.
That sounds like Dallas.
Oh, is that just an average Thursday in Dallas, is it?
Yeah, exactly.
And I remember thinking as I'm sitting in my tattoo studio, which was also my dining room, where I was currently building a Harley chopper. I remember thinking that and I had two wolf hybrids and an ex-con.
Can you stop getting cooler, please? Like, every time you speak, you get cooler. I can't cope with this.
Yeah, and I just remember just looking at my living situation, and I'm thinking,
and there were Valkyries and shit,
might
heavy metal was
negatively.
Yeah,
yeah, no shit, right? Okay.
So I quit that. I quit that, and I got a job as like tech support initially, and so I started doing tech support for internet service providers, and that sort of easy job. Just tell people to turn the computer off and turn it back on. But it was in a place that offered unlimited overtime, and I'm on the internet, for the first time, and I found myself like unrestricted browsing 12 hours a day in this office, and I found myself on Talk.Origins and Usenet back in the day, and so I'm arguing with scientists who I've since met and befriended in real life. A whole bunch of scientists and a whole bunch of religious apologists and so forth. And it was pretty easy pretty quickly, you could find out, who's got the goods and who's full of shit. And it put me on a learning curve. And I spent the next at least 6 years on a steep autodidact learning curve where all I'm doing now, and now I'm working night shift. So I take like 2 calls a night, and all I do is read all night, every night. And so I read like all of these, a whole lot of scientific articles, a whole lot of comparative religious documents, the Avestas of Zarathustra, the Bhagavad Gita, things like this. I mean, and all I was doing was learning for years and years and years. And then I finally went into college. And originally I went to get like an MCSE degree, but I accidentally walked into the wrong building. And because I'd never been to the college before. I walked into the wrong building. I happened to walk into the science building, and I stood in front. I remember catching myself in front of a paleontology exhibit, and I knew what all the fossils were. I knew who the scientists were. I had talked to some of the scientists here. I knew all of the controversies about this. I knew everything about this fossil exhibit. And I'm like, why do I know all of this? And I'm not using it. Right? So I went in. I threw away the MCSE idea and went in as a geoscience major. And currently, I had to drop out later because my job contract changed again, and it no longer afforded me the ability. I was a 24/7 operation, but now I can't do, the 2 days in school and another day in a tutorial lab all day. Now suddenly we're on a banker's hours, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 kind of thing, and it just completely screwed my ability to do it in school. But now I'm back in, and I am so frustrating. I'm one class away from a Bachelor of Science in Anthropology from Arizona State University's School of Human Evolution and Social Change.
That's awesome.
The Institute of Human Origins. And it's frustrating because I couldn't get that one class in this semester. So when this semester ends, I'll still have like one fucking class.
and I want to say that, you know, like I'm the same way. Like I don't spend my time watching TV or funny YouTube videos. I primarily are informed of the, you know, the deeper hidden explanation that is our reality. You know, so I spend a lot of time looking into science topics and whatnot. And I agree with you. I've got a copy of the Bhagavad Gita right here.
That brought up an interesting point about getting your degrees and all that from places. The type of places that he mentioned, like it didn't sound like a Harvard or an Oxford type or a Yale type of universities. You know, the ones that you normally hear of. So is his degree still credited as good as anything else?
Oh
for what he
yeah,
did?
I mean Arizona State's a pretty good university.
Just named like 3 Ivy League schools, and you got to think there are thousands of college students that go to school every year, hundreds of thousands, and Harvard, Yale, and Stanford can't take them all.
Yeah, or Cambridge and Oxford in England.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, because we got the Macquarie universities and a few others. We got the one down here in Wollongong University.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the university I attended, the University of East Anglia, it was one of the new universities that was founded in the 1960s. There was a whole slew of them here in England. I think there was about 10 new universities founded in the 60s. You know, the UEA had a fairly good reputation. They had a little bit of a problem around the turn of the millennium because of the rather unfortunate email exchanges about climate change at the world famous climatology centre at the university.
How does all the universities keep their content the same for the learning side of it?
They don't. They
don't. Yeah, there's no federal or national curriculum at the college level, is my understanding. But there are accreditation standards that you have to have. I don't know how a college gets accredited. To be honest with you, I wouldn't know what all goes into that.
There's two. Universities usually get accredited to be able to award their own degrees. So they administer all the exams internally and award the degrees. However, in my case, for example, I did a degree in electronic engineering that was accredited by the Institute of Electrical Engineers. So it satisfied the educational requirement for membership so that you could become a professional engineer without then having to sit exams. Because the institute approved the curricula and the examining and everything else. And that happens for a lot of the science, you know, for a lot of sort of science and engineering subjects. Those sorts of professional body, those professional body organisations will also accredit courses. So if you go and do an accredited course, if you want to become an electronic engineer in the UK, you would go and do a course, and you would ensure that your course is accredited by the by the professional body, because you'd be a bit dumb not to.
Yeah, pretty much. As long as it's not one of those online only colleges, like University of Phoenix or something, or ITT Tech, then, or what was that other one that was a big scam? Virginia College. There are a few that are diploma mills or just in it for the money, and then there are schools that are, respected, accredited. My alma mater, boasts about 40,000 students, but it's in a small rural state, and so most people don't think of it as like a place where people go to college, but it's a hell of a place to go if you want to be a football fan.
Where's that? Go on,
Alabama.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, when it comes to distance learning for degrees, England has probably the world's foremost college that only does distance learning courses.
I remember that from Bed Knobs and Broomsticks.
And that's the Open University at Milton Keynes.
That's right.
And their degrees, it can take you a very long time to get one. But I think on average most people take about 8 years for a bachelor's degree at the OU. But people are doing them while holding down a full-time job, usually.
Or being a full-time parent,
or being a full-time parent holding down a full-time job.
Yeah, there's both. Yeah, they don't have to be mutually exclusive.
But I'm just saying, it's sort of like, you can do it while juggling actual real life, and the education standard is really, really good. My ex was doing it, and and one of the carers that comes, who was a friend, who's the mother of one of my daughter's friends. She did an OU degree, but they're definitely so there are definitely some universities offering what they used to call, I guess, correspondence courses, but now they just call it distance learning, don't they? That are not rip-offs, and to actually offer the requisite level of education.
Well, they're just playing a bit of a replay of the debate, so we'll see what bit they're playing. Oh, they've paused it. I was hoping they'd get to the bit earlier on where they were talking, but they've paused it for now.
Sorry, Terry, didn't mean to carry on bibbling.
No, that was the topic. I was just going to watch the debate, and then that was to do with Aaron with his accreditations and what he's got under his belt. So it's not just a person that just sits there and talks. He does have something that he's done and learned. But then what this Nathan guy, what accreditations he got? Nothing. I've never heard of anything that he's had. Or did.
Well, they don't let just anyone print brochures, Terry. Surely he's got to have a degree. I mean, shit. I think JM Truth has a degree in printing brochures. So, I mean, there's got to be something to that, right?
Well,
you're talking about JM Truth, the film producer that done that wonderful film.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What you mean? Getting your PhD religious in educating retards from a double wide trailer on the top of some mountain somewhere is. Isn't that how you're supposed to?
There aren't any mountains in Lenox, Alabama. I will guarantee you that. It's a gravel pit. There's a gravel pit in Lenox, Alabama.
No. The double wide trailer where he got his bloody his doctorate degree, his doctorate of bloody divinity crap thing.
JM has a doctorate in divinity.
No, I'm talking about somebody else.
You're talking about Kent Hovind. That's why
I'm talking about Kent Hovind.
That's why I said Lenox, Alabama, because you said that he went to the top of a mountain, and I'm like, there are no the closest thing to a mountain we have in Alabama is a hill anywhere else. So
Patriot Bible University is a double wide trailer on the top of a mountain somewhere.
Yeah,
I've seen the photograph.
It's a joke. Yeah, it's a diploma mill. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And he never taught high school science to kids. He taught a bunch of homeschool kids who met at a church, and he would teach them creationist science. But he didn't actually teach high school science.
No.
He's just a fraud and a huckster and a con man. That's it.
We'll be doing a dramatic.
And JM's the same way.
Yeah.
Marty Moose said Alabama
has Red Mountain.
Has Red Mountain. What's a Red Mountain? It's a mountain that's red.
I think it's archaeological significance. Something about some Indians. They found a monument up there or something.
Okay.
Well, I mean, again, just because it's called Red Mountain doesn't mean it's actually a mountain by anybody else's standards.
Oh,
it's a mountain. It's a mountain by our standards.
Yeah.
Is it over 1,000 feet high?
Let's see.
A little, maybe. If it's over 1,000, it's not much over 1,000.
Oh, well, that's fine. As long as it's over 1,000 feet, it's a mountain. Most of our mountains are over 1,000 feet.
They're going back into the debate again. Let's see if we can catch up with this little bit. It's good with the live stream. You can pause it and then rewind it live.
50 to 60
You're right, Marty and Howard. It is just a hair.
As well as roughly 30 minutes of Q&A. So, want to say, if you happen to have a question, feel free to tag me in the live chat with @ModernDayDebate. Makes it easier for me to find every question in there. And Super Chat is also an option, in which case it'll bump your question to the top of the list. We really appreciate that support. And so, with that, very excited to want to first introduce our guests. Really special, guys. This is one that we were like, oh my goodness,
I'm gonna
it's
go ahead and
actually
take us past
happening.
the introductions,
Unbelievable.
Well, hold on. He says some stupid shit, I remember.
Oh, I think we might have you. Let's see.
Yeah, don't skip forward past the stupid.
He's a PhD astrophysicist. Aaron refused to go first, even though all the textbooks, all the mainstream science, all the Hollywood movies depict a globe model. We give $50 million a day to NASA to depict the globe model, but for some reason he had a problem going first. And he mentioned that all his income is based on his activism. So if
isn't that a tactic of an tactic, whatever they call it, where he's just trying to discredit the other person by,
of course it is,
by some of the claims, by those type of claims.
Yep.
If he was wrong about this, guys, that would have a serious effect on his income. And I feel bad that you have to defend the heliocentric model.
Says the guy that makes a living from selling flat earth flyers?
Dude, not just that. Says the guy who was staying at someone's house bragging about how he...
No, I fixed up Marty's spanner. No name. He's okay. I think I've seen Marty Moose before.
He has 8 shower heads. You didn't own not even one of them. You owned, Nathan.
Yeah, a few times.
Not to mention the guy that's personally told me home is where the dome is, because that's what someone does to rationalize their position in life. You know, you make up little statements like that to go, oh, being homeless, living in my car, driving around begging people to let me use one of their 8 shower heads to take a fucking shower. It's not a bad thing because...
Oh, that's right. He was, I don't know if he was allowed back in that state, that he got into trouble there for something one time. I don't know where he is
Was
at
it
the
North
moment,
Carolina?
because that's the place where he's in now. He's been in there for a while, because I recognise the windows in the back. So I don't know which state he's in at the moment then. I don't remember your states over there, no name, I wouldn't have a clue.
Because home is where the dome and my friend's 8 shower heads are. You know, that...
You got too many of them, no name. Not like Australia, where we've just got a couple. It makes it easier to remember.
That's their logical way of thinking. He's a piece of fucking shit. He's a piece of shit. I don't give a fuck. No Nathan Thompson defenders and apologists in the chat tonight. You see a Nathan Thompson defender or apologist, go ahead and hit him with the timeout and let them enjoy their time in the corner with Nathan.
It also has to be said that we actually spend closer to $62 million a day on NASA. So I don't know why he keeps running with the 50. I had to find out, so I did that math, and it was just like, yeah, 62 million a day. That's cool.
Should somebody mention that he's bitching about me having to defend the heliocentric model when we're actually here to talk about geosphericity? I mean, get your theories straight. But then he wants to call it.
Oh yeah,
he has to, because every alternate position has to be a religious belief. Nobody actually knows shit because he doesn't know shit. So he does the Donald Trump thing. Hey, did you know? Nobody knew that that healthcare was so complicated.
This debate, I've debated maybe 10,000 people. I looked for debates you've done online.
Bullshit. Sorry.
Bullshit.
Right.
Bullshit.
10,000 people a day. Right. He told me that he's been doing this since 2013, 2014, right?
Yeah, if you added that up, that'd be a lot of debates, wouldn't it? If he's debated 10,000 people.
That's what he claims. I mean, I heard him say it, that he's debated 10,000 people. And I think what he calls a debate is walking up to somebody in a parking lot and quote unquote flat smacking them with some questions or some things that most people are just not prepared to address at a moment's notice. They don't keep a bunch of globe earth evidence at the top of their brain all the time. They're worried about paying bills and getting groceries and being late for work and shit like that. So most people don't ever have the headspace,
I'd say
to carry around with them all the time.
I'd say a bit of it would have been on Facebook too, because that could drum up a couple of people.
Yeah, he does. He does have a lot of
on Twitter, Facebooks, all them.
Facebook. He had a lot of followers on his.
Well,
Facebook.
he had, yeah. Past tense. Past tense.
They yoinked that.
Now that means at the most he's been doing this for 2,555 days. To debate 10,000 people means he's been debating 4 people a day for 7 years.
Look at my face,
fucking moron.
Look at my face.
And he included like PhDs, like PhDs and NASA scientists, and like what NASA scientist would sit across from this asshole?
I'm a PhD
and debate him. Fucking Wotan.
Oh God!
I did find a video, however, where a Glober came on your channel crying about how he lost a lawsuit in court because he could not prove the Earth's a globe. I see you shaking your head. Yes, I saw that video.
Wrong.
So I've debated.
Hold on. There's a huge difference between. There's a huge difference between what's considered to be true in science versus what's considered to be true in the court of law. In the court of law, you only have to convince.
What was that?
I think that was that bet, and the court just had to. The court agreed that they hadn't met the standard required of the challenge, the bet or whatever, because you never could actually achieve the standards required of that bet.
Well, as I recall, he changed them. He changed the on his website after he had issued the challenge, and I thought somebody had found like a screenshot on the Wayback Machine showing that he had changed the bet, the nature of the evidence that he required. And he also left it very vague and ambiguous too. It was basically like there was terminology in there that the court looked at and said, "Oh, well, this is too vague." As I recall, like it was something along the lines of, "And it meets my standards of evidence."
And he had a court case. He couldn't get it to court. He wanted to sue the guy for the contract, and the court wouldn't hear the case. They postponed him. So he paid for me to be an expert witness. And I said, I'm not an expert witness in this. You know, trust me, you know, to tell the court that I'm going to come and defend what is it? The sphericity of the earth in your court case. I tried to explain to the guy, there's a reason that this isn't going to court, that it has no validity.
Yeah. It was
nothing Flat Earth says does.
No flat earthers ever fulfilled a contract anyway, ever, even when proven completely wrong.
NASA employees, PhD astrophysicists, land surveyors who for 20 years have been land surveying and don't know how much Earth should curve.
Oops, was I muted? Sorry. Yeah, I remember that bit of that. I screen captured that interview where they surveyors assume the Earth's flat for their certain distances they use.
Well, it depends what job you're doing. It's like flipping when they're talking about flight simulators or flying. Yeah, when you're learning to fly, you can, when you talk about the basics of how an aircraft operates, you only ever talk about it as if it's flying over a flat stationary plane, because the curvy bit doesn't actually. It makes no difference whether you think of it as being flat or curved, but you wouldn't talk about the navigation like that.
Fuck me. The arrogance is incredible. No, these professional land surveyors don't know how to do their job. Only I know how the land surveyors should actually do their fucking job. The arrogance blinds me. Aaron, right, once I was debating a flat earther, and he told me that he is the only person in the world that understands perspective and pressure. None of the people in the world that have ever studied it before.
Nobody understands any set of subject better than me. That's narcissism talking.
Yep.
It blows my mind. Oh.
Yeah, I hate to rush you through, but I'm going to have to be on something else at 8 o'clock, or in 45 minutes. So we need to go through this as quick as we can.
Downward, tangent to our feet. I think that's embarrassing, but here's why it's noble for me to beat Arn in the debate tonight, guys, because he's going to learn more from losing this debate than he would from winning. Okay? People always mistake me as a flat earth idiot. That's fine.
We might have to,
because we learn from our mistakes, guys.
I've got it behind
Love is patient and kind. It's not jealous, boastful, proud, or rude.
of those times I said I made the mistake of saying that well, this is the first time we've ever spoken. The guy blew his mind and started screaming at me that we've talked before. I'm sorry that I don't remember you.
Hey, you're not important enough to remember.
Aaron,
I don't mean
you
to
should
be
have
like
learned
that.
he's the most important person in the world, Aaron. You should have known that ahead of time, man. At least on his.
He called me and Team. He called me and Team Skeptic racist before the debate even started because we follow evolution, and his justification for that is that Darwin's book was about the preservation of the favorable species, favorable race, and he thought that meant against black people.
I met like Daniel Dennett like 4 times. And he didn't remember who it was. It wasn't until like the 5th time that he could remember. Oh yeah, I met you before. Yeah, so that happens. It's acceptable. I mean, so don't lose your mind. I'm sorry.
And you have a very unique look, Aaron. You have a very unique look. So for Daniel Dennett to take 5 times to remember you means that man is very, very busy.
All right, here we go.
So I feel bad that you're wrong, and I'm going to have to demolish you in this debate. I tried to do some research, find out your positions. You didn't have any debates, but you did have a discussion with Jaron from Jaronism, where you asserted a bottom-up fallacy. Apparently, you don't know things.
Yeah, this is just his typical style. He's just
things disappear from the bottom up there too. So can you explain to me why it is that you can't see the Burj Khalifa from anywhere in the United States, no matter how tall a building you're standing on?
Fuck, from Mount Everest, that'd be closer, right? I mean, you should be able to see it from Mount Everest. You should be able to see the Burj Khalifa on a clear day with a powerful enough telescope.
So just so I'm clear, he literally made it because there is a bottom-up justification, which is just a fault in logic. So he literally took that and put it to bottom up, to referring to things disappear bottom up, and said that was a fallacy.
I think so.
Yeah.
I have to guess because he wouldn't give me a model.
Yeah, so this is like narcissism bordering on solipsism. I swear to God. Roll the tape.
All right.
2, you think things disappearing bottom first is empirical proof of Earth curve. I thought that was funny. You straw man a model approximately 12 times, which is a hat trick fallacy.
What model?
It's a straw man.
What model?
Then you're begging the question, and you're
hat trick fallacy. Is that a new one?
I asked.
I'm going to Google that shit.
I'm already ahead of you.
Give me one.
Yeah, he won't. He can't. There's no model. There's nothing that they can do to make a prediction.
How can I strawman his model if he won't tell me what it is? All I can do is ask what it says, right?
Yeah.
There's no such thing as a hat trick fallacy
because it's not empirical evidence. It's not science. It's a model. So reification fallacy, begging the question, and a straw man. Hat trick fallacy all in one. You are like the Wayne Gretzky of proving Earth is a globe, Aaron. You also said, would the sun be out all day on a flat Earth? Now, apparently you don't understand.
Yes.
Sometimes the sun is out all day in the north.
Yeah.
Hey, you got something right.
Yeah. Fuck you, though, Nathan.
When the sun is out all day.
When that's the sun is out all day in the north. In your position. Go ahead.
When the sun is out all day in the north, where is it in the south?
It's nighttime. For every part that it's all day, it's also there's a part of the world that's in all nighttime. How about explaining that,
I must have missed that bit when I watched the debate, because basically he's saying there, look at this proof of the globe. It's proof of flat Earth. There is no way the flat Earth can explain there being 24-hour sunlight in the Arctic like that, and it have daylight. I mean, my God, this guy gets dumber every time.
Yeah,
curses axial tilt.
Yeah, but somebody in the chat makes a good point. He did say that how much the Earth drops tangent to our feet. What the fuck does that mean? I mean, I know what he's trying to say, but how about science or geometry, calculus? Any one of those terms would be easier for us to be able to have a conversation.
It's fine. We need to push through because I'm running out of time.
Disappears bottom first.
I'll turn the speed up a little
disappear
bit
on a flat surface.
But if you increase in altitude, the sun and the moon, which I've done this observation myself, on my channel,
Sounds better when you
into
speed it up.
small dots above the horizon, Arn. So that would not work on a heliocentric model with the sun and moon being the size and the distance that they are. Now, you guys assert that the sun and moon setting is proof that we're on a spinning ball, but they don't even intersect the marine horizon. I've also done a test myself. Stars do not intersect the marine horizon. So another test I've done is the green flash.
Hey, sailors, we have a sailor on the panel. Do the stars intersect the marine horizon there, Fight?
What was he trying to say there, Alan?
He was trying to say stars do not intersect the marine horizon. Well, of course they bloody do. If they're not circumpolar at your latitude, then they definitely intersect the bloody marine horizon or any other bloody horizon.
You have two sailors, yes. They absolutely do. In fact, astroblades have different sections for exactly those reasons. Astrolabes, sorry, I say astroblade for some reason.
Well, there you go.
Playing too many video games.
Wrong again, Nathan.
Well, he did the experiment himself, and remember, this is the guy who denies that we did a moon landing, that we shot it, that we putting people in orbit, that we have satellites we can look at, that we can predict that the space station is going to go by at 11:05 p.m. tonight. So take a look. 11:05. Hey, there's this thing. There we go. We can see it. He's denying all of this reality. And it doesn't matter that we can put a GoPro on a weather balloon. It doesn't matter all of the things we can do, satellite photos of all of the entirety of Antarctica. It doesn't matter. He's denying everything. And if we grabbed his ass and stuck him in a rocket and took him up into orbit, he would then only become part of the conspiracy, so that his own following would then think that he's sold out. Like everybody else when they go into like space tourism or whatever, until it becomes 8 billion people lying as part of the conspiracy, and only the 30 of us in Kansas know the real truth.
I've observed the sun setting where the top of the sun turns green for a moment. Now, if the sun was going below the horizon, the red, orange, yellow color
green flash bollocks.
Similar to the prism on the front of the Pink Floyd album.
Still doesn't explain why the fucking sun goes below the horizon to begin with. He still can't explain that.
He said just now that it doesn't go below the horizon. Then he just said that it does. So
yeah, that's a contradiction, right?
I've also taken real video footage of stars that I can show you. Also, hundreds of star trails and just numerous observations. Couldn't find anything.
Why hundreds of star trails? You only need
I don't even know why.
Yeah, but Arn, he went looking.
Circumpolar stars make circular star trails. Non-circumpolar stars get cut off by the horizon as they go round. And
that's depending on which direction you're filming it from too, isn't it?
Well, obviously you have to point your camera at your celestial pole.
Yeah.
Be that Polaris, be that Polaris, the star that is currently closest to the northern celestial pole, or be that Sigma Octantis, that is the star that is closest to our southern, to your southern one. Although, of course, you can't actually see Sigma Octantis with the naked eye.
No.
Channel for flat Earth stuff. Why is that a bad idea?
Because I don't argue flat Earth stuff. I promote evolution. Exactly. I explain evolution, specifically phylogeny and so forth. That's what my channel is about. Now, I do skepticism, and on rare occasions, I will deal with a flat earther. But that's it. So you're not going to find a lot of content. If you want to see flat Earth stuff on my channel, I did do 2 interviews together, 5 hours of trying to reason with the absolute stupidest person I've ever encountered in my entire life. And this was the guy who thought that I was going to force his ass onto a plane to fly around Antarctica just to disprove his religious belief that was more precious to him than the truth.
Quick answer. Who's more dumber? We're going to use that term right now. Who's more dumber, Nathan Thompson or the airplane guy?
Well, Nathan Thompson really surprised me with something that he said in our interaction. I don't know if we're going to get to it because I'm tight. Time's getting a little tight. So let's see how far we get and see if we get there.
Okay.
And
what I'll do, I'll jump ahead of your arguments since you know your arguments, and Nathan's going to basically not address them at all. And anybody that wants to watch it, there's a link in the description right now that you can go check that out if you want. But we'll go ahead and bypass Aaron's arguments and go right to the discussion because that's where he commits a lot of the bullshit.
He's here debating this. I don't think he's qualified. But just so you guys know, science has been hijacked. Ever since we were little kids, they taught us science is an empirical method. When we do science, we prove things. The very next day, you walk in the school.
Wrong.
I'm not qualified. I'm not qualified to argue that the Earth is round. This uneducated YouTuber conspiracy theorist has better qualifications than every astronaut.
Yeah, apparently so.
Put that in perspective.
Put that in your perspective.
Well, and they say, look, you're on a spinning tilted ball in space with a molten iron core hotter than the surface of the sun, and you're moving 20 million miles a day through the galaxy because it's science, right? And that's what we're all taught as little kids. The problem is that that's been hijacked, okay? Science has been hijacked. It is an empirical method for proving the cause of an effect, but there is no science to support the heliocentric model. We'll get into that in a second.
I don't think he gets what
You're so
a
stupid
model
it burns.
is. Like I really just don't think he understands that when you're talking about a scientific model, what you're basically saying is that you're going to have an initial set of conditions and you're going to make a prediction based on that model as to what those conditions are going to evolve to given a certain amount of time or distance or whatever the case may be, some sort of measuring. So there has to be math involved. You have to be able to make a prediction for it to be considered a scientific model. Otherwise, it's just as valid as the flat earth model, which is invalid altogether. And you made a great point. I bring it up all the time. Just one fucking word, people. Australia. Just fucking Australia.
Fucking Australia.
All you gotta.
Well, that's the Northern Hemisphere bias to some of these flat earthers, isn't it? They just don't realise what's going on down here. And that's the arguments we bring up all the time.
To do is look at it. Ask an Australian, is your country shaped like this? If somebody came and gave you a fucking America that was stretched the fuck out and all wobbly fucking looking and said this is what your country looked like, you'd tell them they were a jackass piece of shit because that's not what my fucking country looks like. I've driven the coastline on both the east and west coast. I would know if it didn't match the fucking cartography maps. Yeah, I would know that.
I have flown from Los Angeles to New York. I have flown from Perth to Sydney. They are comparable. Australia is not twice as wide as the United States, which the flat earthers stretch Australia to where it's this. It would be an 8-hour flight. I know from Perth it ain't.
All right.
Now, real quick, could I share my screen, James?
Can I scare my screen, James?
Please don't.
So,
the amount of times he was like, moderator, Aaron's being rude to me.
He kept cutting you off.
Is how far can we see, ladies and gentlemen? If the Earth is a globe 24,901 miles around, as the heliocentric model would assert, there would be downward curve tangent to your feet in all directions. Now, for example, this is a famous photo Joshua Nowicki took from the other side of Chicago.
There would be curved tangent to your feet. Do you realize how stupid that is? I've done this observation, not from Joshua Nowicki, but from New Buffalo, which is approximately 10 miles shorter. But he actually got a clearer picture than I could on that day. And they said that because it was so clear on this day.
It's tough because Sean Hufford fucking debunked all of this, completely debunked all of this. So we're just going to go ahead and go through that.
This was a mirage. Now they want you to believe when it's clear and you can see really far, that's distortion. That's miraging. But when things can't be seen, that's Earth curve. Now that is the opposite of any logical thinking, period. But next you have all these lighthouses, ladies and gentlemen, should be obscured by 329 feet over here in France.
Yeah,
visibility
it's similar
28
to
miles
the Black
away.
Swan
Okay?
jinx.
Should be
He
obscured
doesn't
visible. I can show
understand
you
how
San Jacinto right
fucking
here.
how
Now, Glover's
why
gonna say,
the
oh, look, you can't see it in this
lighthouses.
picture.
Hold on,
The
I want
problem
to like everything he showed right there is exactly the reason why we know the Earth to be curved. Because if those lighthouses weren't so tall, they would be fucking pointless. There's reasons. People didn't conspire in the 1800s to build all these lighthouses in the Northeast when they were trying to save ships from running into the fucking coastline. There was a reason why they built the fucking lighthouses hundreds of feet tall. It's because a lighthouse that's fucking 15 feet tall serves no fucking purpose to a ship that's approaching the coastline. Jesus
Plus, they're designed
Christ.
to be seen over the curve. You know, the loom of the lighthouse is kind of a thing you learn about when you're a sailor, definitely. You know, the light goes out in a cone and it can be seen further than you can actually see the lighthouse. It's the entire point of it. But no, we can see it, therefore the Earth's flat. You fucking morons.
Someone just said that this is appropriately called Natalie speed, and it suits him fine.
Once you flip on the infrared, you can see much farther. So the first argument the Earth.
Oh, really? It's almost as if different wavelengths of light bend differently according to the laws of refraction.
This is the exact same. So this is the exact same slide that you debunked, team, in Dallas.
Yeah, we can't see light that's at a fucking different wavelength because it's going to have a different refractive index. That light won't bend over the curve. But light at a certain wavelength that has higher refractive properties will be able to be seen. How cool is that? You're learning science every day, Nathan.
What you're talking about is extending where you might be able to see at one altitude 24 miles. You're saying that you can see slightly beyond that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Slightly beyond the expected limit.
Yeah.
Under certain circumstances, you can see slightly beyond. Burj Khalifa from any place on the planet.
Right.
Yep.
No, yeah, but you made a good point. Like when you said that, I was like, yeah, why can't, if a flat earther was serious about his shit, right? If he really said, take me seriously, he would go and get him a Sherpa. He would go up Mount Everest. He'd pop the fucking $1,000 telescope down and he'd look over there and see Burj Khalifa. And it would not be that hard. That's not so great a distance that if the Earth was flat at that elevation where it's completely fucking nothing up there to block your view, you know, you just see forever, you should be able to look down on the Burj Khalifa, no fucking problem. But you can't.
He was asked that question about the dual sunsets at the Burj Khalifa, one at the bottom, one at the top, and he could just completely ignored it. Just dodged it.
Isn't a globe is that we see far. The second argument the Earth isn't a globe is called specular reflections. So a specular reflection means
this is obviously
reflection
another
of light
thing he
where the
doesn't
angle of reflected
understand.
light equals the angle of incident light, but on the opposite side of the surface normal. It occurs on mirrors, for example. Now, I don't know if you guys know how mirrors are made, but they use molten metal. They melt the liquid glass on top. That's how they get bubbles to float to the top. And also mirrors and glass are perfectly flat. It's a property of fluid statics. When large bodies of water are at rest, they lay level and horizontal to the container. So first argument,
Fight, care to define level for us? What's the definition of level there, Fight, according to the dictionary?
According to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, the definition of level is the liquid matching the curvature of the liquid parts of Earth's surface.
So Panama level. Canal.
Yeah.
West versus east.
1,039 miles an hour. That's what heliocentric model asserts. At the equator, we spin. It's the cause of day and night, and we're moving approximately 1,039, 1,040 miles an hour. Problem with this: how would a spinning Earth affect our atmosphere? It's two options, guys.
Not either of the ways that you put there, really.
Body, which is what I've heard Aaron say in his discussion with Jaron. Wasn't a debate, it was a discussion. He says the atmosphere moves with the Earth, which is denying mainstream science. It's denying what Neil deGrasse Tyson asserts. It's denying what we were taught as kids, which is that the Earth moves under sniper bullets. The Earth moves under a Sagnac interferometer. Bob proved it on Netflix.
Hold on. Is he saying the atmosphere is a sniper bullet?
He's saying that the atmosphere is the wind outside the car. You know, like I remember people being confused as to how a fly can be inside your car and fly around in your car. Why doesn't the fly zoom back to the back window? It was because we have a roof on the car. We have our windows up. If we're in a convertible, the fly is gone. There's a whole different principle here. So he thinks He thinks that the vacuum of space, or the virtual vacuum of space, is somehow freezing the atmosphere in some kind of stasis relative to what nobody can imagine, so that the Earth turns under all this constant turbulence, so that the air remains fixed and the planet spins under it so that the air comes past us at the speed of the rotation of the Earth. That's what he imagines. And that if you're not so blindly
there would be 1,000 mile-an-hour winds at the equator.
Yeah, so if we're not so blindly idiotic to assume that, well, then we deny the Coriolis.
Yeah, he when I was in Dallas, I debated him in Dallas in person, and we could talk about that when we have a beer. But I debated him in person, and I was sitting there, and I said, he asked me, when you jump up and down, does the Earth rotate underneath you? And I said, yes, it does. And he's like, so you think when you jump up, the Earth just continues to go on? And I'm like, does the Earth rotate? Yes or no? Yes, it does. According to my model, it rotates. Okay, well, great. So when I jump up, I carry the momentum that I already have being stuck to this rotating surface. The Earth continues to rotate under me, but I also carry the momentum. So relative to me, we're not moving. I'm jumping up, I'm coming down in the same spot. If you were to take a picture from the outside of the Earth and look at it, you would say that I jumped up, moved over with the Earth, and landed in the same spot on the Earth. But that when I left the Earth, there was a time when I was not attached to the Earth, that the Earth was rotating under me and I was carrying my momentum. And it's like, but that's double speak. I'm like, that's not double speak. That's exactly what the fuck happens. Like when I toss this bottle up, it moves, and then it comes back down and I catch it. And it's because the bottle moved too. It carried the momentum. God, what do you know?
I think there's what is it? It's a law, if I remember science correctly. I think there's a conservation of momentum, something like that. I'm not sure. I'm terrible at science. So
yeah, I mean Newton's laws of motion. They're a thing.
Listening to a Caltech professor the other day, and he was talking about scientific theories, and he said he elegantly put it. He said, "Listen, scientific theories are the most sounded and the most fragile things at the same time. They're sounded. They're based on evidence. They're based on experimentation that has gone on for over and over and over and over and never failed. All it takes is one. The one time it fails. The moment it fails once, it's gone. It doesn't matter about the 10 million times it passed. It's that one time that it fails that you say, we don't know what we're talking about. We were close. We need to reevaluate it because something else is going on, but we don't know exactly what we're talking about when we say that."
And every time a scientific theory has ever been disproved, it was replaced by another theory. Exactly. The most famous example is when phlogiston theory was disproved by oxygen theory. So oxygen that you're breathing is only a theory.
Oh, hold on, Arn. Before we go forward, there is a group of people out there that one day I'm going to have to make you aware of who believe that oxygen is not really an element. It's just a gradient of air. Okay, so where all the water's moving at the same time. And if you look down and you could visualize it, all those points of water are traveling around with each other.
Eventually.
You can even let go of the spoon.
Tried.
How Coriolis works against the argument that they're talking about. If you'd like, and because I'm not going to have time to address it here, if you can discuss the discrepancy of the bullet, the adjustments that the cannon shell has to be made for shooting 25 miles away, and all, and how it's actually the difference in airplane velocity going east to west, how it varies by only like 100 miles an hour, or at 3,000 feet, or was it 3,000 yards? The bullet only varies by a foot. That it's not a huge discrepancy, but that it's not entirely independent. Because a lot of people don't understand. If there's an extenuating circumstance, they think binary. So they're not going to get it. It's going to take some kind of in-depth.
Absolutely, they think binary.
Now, Arn, I'll tell you, if at any time you decide you want to go ahead and get me and Fight to submit a little bit, like a small portion of science to add to your video, I know I would be more than happy to do it. You're one of my favorite YouTubers to watch, and I'm sure Fight would too. And just as an add-on to your video, we could talk about some of the science parts of it, some of the physics.
Well, we could definitely work that out and do an edited video that discusses some of these points. That's probably really good. I don't know that I have time to sit through what we're going through. What I'm waiting for is for this guy to tell me when I went, because he did not want me to visit a question against his model that he insists that he doesn't have, that I'm straw manning at the same time, that the model he doesn't have that I'm straw manning somehow, because I don't understand the model that he won't tell me.
What I've done is I've gone ahead and moved it up beyond all the intros so you can get to the parts where y'all talk, and we'll deal with him and
orbit,
his
right,
idiocracy.
The moon stays locked in a gravitational tug.
You sound great, though. That your voice matches that beautiful hair of yours.
The moon and the Earth are orbiting, in a sense, each other.
No, speed it up.
They're held by this gravitational pull.
And there's already motion, so it's going to keep up perpetually. But in your attempt at a model, it's not that way. You have this giant orb weighing however many tons you want it to be that's just suspended and moving slowly over the planet. So you've got this big disk. You're going to assume the moon has weight. You're going to assume the moon has weight and that it's physical.
Okay.
I can understand what he's saying.
He said this was when y'all were talking about the moon, and he was like trying to say that when you kept telling him this is what you believe, and he was like, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. You know, you're asserting that I believe that the moon is a physical object. Well, what he kept saying, he goes, the moon is an object that's stuck in the firmament. That's not a physical object. That's what his argument came down to. Was him saying,
when he said that the sun and the moon are not physical.
Yeah. But then he also tried to say, but it's plasma. Yeah, plasma is a physical thing, dude. It's just ionized gas.
He asked you if plasma was if plasma was a physical thing, and you were like, yes, it is.
That. Like I didn't realize how stupid he was until he said that.
Oh, maybe we should have warned you, Aaron. You could have prepared. For the stupidity a bit better, because imagine the stupidest person you can imagine. Well, Nathan Thompson is stupider than that.
Yeah, 100%. All right, here we go.
It doesn't fall down on a flat Earth. Well, let me tell you, Aaron.
What other things fall down if the moon doesn't?
I know you've got to censor me because that's what YouTube and all your controllers do that push your main.
Your controllers.
Aaron Raw, they're controlled. I love it.
Aaron Raw gets a bigger NASA check than any of us.
Hey, Aaron, man. I have a question for you. Should this fictitious fucking handler of yours exist, please describe what he looks like.
The fuck if I know. The best I can tell, I've been accused of being part of the Illuminati.
Oh, yeah.
In which case, I'm left out of all the meetings, and I am clearly the lowest paid member.
What you didn't realize, Aaron, was tonight was your first meeting. Welcome to the Illuminati, because all of us are confirmed members.
Extreme rhetoric. Now, okay, so please, if you're going to
shush, don't tell anyone.
Aaron, let me talk, okay? So you're censoring
What do you mean on controllers?
You're censoring me, Aaron. You're not letting me talk.
You're lying about me. I'm not going to let that happen.
What did I lie about you?
I don't have controllers. I don't have a religion.
The people who told you Earth is a spinning ball because you haven't tested it, Aaron.
I have tested it. I have tested it. Yes, I have.
I hate his fucking condescending voice. You haven't tested it, Aaron. Yeah. I'm getting crunk for the super chat reading, guys. I'm getting crunk.
I've been all over the world. You look at your map. Look at your globe or not.
Okay, so your tests are looking at my map?
What's that?
Your tests are looking at my map?
And being at various places on it, yes.
Oh, okay.
So look at your polar projection map. So there's so much wrong with that.
Aaron's test to prove Earth is a spinning globe is that he's been places.
Yep.
Cool story.
That's a pretty good test, actually.
Let's get specific.
Nathan would have you believe that him being places means driving from fucking Utah to California to Texas to Virginia to North Carolina, because that's where his next home is until he pisses that person off. That's what he'd have you believe. But he ain't never done no real traveling.
Let's get specific about that. So let's look at your polar projection map. Look at Australia on your polar projection map.
We're transferring, you're bouncing around topics.
We're going right.
Hey, I'm sorry, Aaron, but when you told him when you made him and informed him of that he was actually using a polar projection map, you confused the shit out of him. Because as many times as they put that map down, they don't know what that fucking means whatsoever.
But it's flat.
To a topic, a specific topic you asked for. Let's do it. So let's look at the specific. Look at your polar projection map.
Gentlemen, 1 second. I hate to interrupt.
Look at your map.
I hate to interrupt.
It's your map. You want to.
I hate doing this.
We had to mute you.
I love this part because we can still hear you guys in the background.
Just to kind of jump back on track.
Yeah.
Maybe there's something we can do in terms of kind of covering one topic and then jumping over to the other. So is there? So.
Sorry.
It's not another. It's the same topic.
He asked me why the moon doesn't fall towards
You
Earth.
said I didn't prove. I didn't test the model. I did test the model.
Because he got to ask the first question. I think it's fair if we go back and forth.
Let's humor Aaron on this one. Then
James attempting to moderate.
Wait, no. I want to stay on the first topic. James asked me why the moon doesn't fall towards Earth. Now he's talking about my map. Okay. I don't want to talk about the map.
Hey, hold on. Aaron, he just admitted it was his map. It was his map. He just fucking admitted it, right? I'm sorry I didn't catch it the first time I listened to this. The one he sent you. Hold on. Also, the one he's about to deny outright and say, no, that is not my map. I do not subscribe to that map. However, he just said my map.
Yeah, that's right, Scott. That I messaged Nathan Thompson one time, and he said, yeah, sure, I'll come on and have a discussion with you on your channel. How much you going to pay me?
He just said, that's the map he fucking sent you. Come on. Nathan's a fucking joke.
I'm going to have to bow out at this moment, but it was then when he admitted that he had sent me that Instagram shit with the map on it, that he now is going to disavow, that means this is an entire, he lied to get me to agree to that debate.
Yep.
And at that moment, that's it. We're done. You lied. You came unprepared. You did not meet the criteria. Knowingly, you falsified. The moderator should have ended it then. And I had no choice. The moderator would not end it. I'm like, fine, fuck you. Your only thing that you can do is insult me and lie about me, and that's it. And that's all. I'm out.
Welcome to Flat Earth, Aaron.
He was chasing your clout.
Man, Aaron, look, man, I want to say we're going to finish watching this debate. Personally, I felt like you did a fucking wonderful job. I know how hard it is when he tries to trigger you because he knows once you said don't lie about me, that's when he used that as a way of poking the bear. And I know how frustrating that can be, but I want to say that you did an amazing job. Everybody out there, if you're listening now and you're not already familiar with Aaron Rod, go subscribe to him. I think you're the second largest person I've ever had on this channel. I think you're getting up there in subscribers, like what, 600,000-700,000 or something like that, maybe even more than that.
I've only got 250,000.
Oh well, that was maybe in my dreams last night when I was talking. You know what it was? I was thinking about just fucking creating 500,000 sock accounts and signing up for your channel 500,000 times. No, but seriously, thank you for coming on, and you're welcome to come back anytime. We talk shit, man. Like I said, this is one of those channels that we come on here, we call it out how it is. It doesn't always work for the person we're calling it for, but that's not on us. They should change their ways if they don't want us to call it how it is. So
I'm sorry
you're
that I
welcome
had
to come in.
something else booked this evening when you invited me, so I could only be on for an hour. So
not a problem.
Cool. It was a pleasure to meet you.
Super last minute, and we'll get you on Science or Satire. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, so Aaron, it was an absolute pleasure. This has been awesome for me. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll get you up on the Science or Satire podcast.
We may do a collab on this because you suggested it, and I don't think
100%.
So yeah, no, I'm 100% on that. I'm 100% for that. We know Coriolis inside and out. We can speak from all aspects of the physics explanation.
And we know Nathan's stupidity inside and out as well.
Good. Let's talk about that. Let's do that later. I'm going to have to bail.
Take care, my friend.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming, Aaron.
Take care. In the firmament, they would not be falling towards Earth. They're not physical objects, and their gravity's not real. Hot air balloons and helium balloons go up, Aaron. So what now? Can I ask a question?
So you're saying the moon is
the moon is not real? Fucking moron.
Yeah.
No,
because there's a force in the opposite direction.
Isn't that how it's supposed to work? It's because of gravity. If there was no gravity, guess what, guys?
I think I just watched the rest of the debate.
Hold on.
A physical object.
Pull the hair back. Okay, so
you said it's not a physical object. What does that mean?
Question, Nathan, really? What was the point?
I think they just watched the rest of the debate.
Or is it an imaginary thing?
I don't have claims about what the moon is. You do, Aaron.
I'm asking you.
He just made a claim of what the moon was. He made a claim that it was an object that's stuck in the firmament. That's a claim.
Asking you a question, a claim.
Now he has to prove the affirmative.
Well, why don't you give me an answer?
About what the moon is, you do.
You said the moon is not a physical thing, and neither is the sun.
No, I said you're going to assume it. I said
no. I'm asking you the question. That means I don't assume. I don't straw man either.
Great.
Because I ask questions and then I listen to you fail to answer them.
Ask me again what the moon is.
Exactly. What is the moon? You said
this is a good clip. Hey, listen, guys. This is a good audio clip coming up. All right. Listen.
Physical. Are you ready to recant that and decide that it is physical?
Aaron, you got to stop talking if you're going to ask me what the moon is. So for the 4th time, Aaron, take a big gulp. I don't know what the moon is. You assert it's a physical object in space. Now,
I don't know what the moon is.
Didn't answer the first one.
I know exactly where I'm putting that.
You said
pause it.
For not testing.
Pause it. I'm going to be like, when I do a video, I'm going to be like, yeah, everyone knows what the moon is. You have to be a complete retard to not know what the moon is. Then I'm just going to go to the clip of Nathan going, I don't know what the moon is. There we go. Boom. I already know where I'm putting that.
Hold on, let me back it up so you can get the proper picture.
Oh, I've already got this downloaded. It's cool. That's cool. I've already got this downloaded.
All right, let me. I'm gonna put up a picture for Aaron Ross so I can get it off camera. All
right. I don't know what the moon is.
I don't know what the moon is. For the.
There we go. Yeah, that was awesome, Sean, that debate. Yeah. I don't think Aaron was prepared for Nathan for that. Am I muted? No, I'm not muted. I thought I was talking to myself for a second.
No.
I do it all the time. I think I'm muted. And I'm not.
Yeah.
Or I am muted. I just don't know how many of these debates that happen, but they just do not show the flat earthers in a good light. And they don't see it. They just think they've won, or they're going to crush you, or they whatever. But it's only because of their argumentative style and personal attack. Yeah, Howard wanted to prepare for that level of stupidity. That's right. Jim.
Yeah. I'm sure Nathan got a lot of pat on the back following that.
I think what he would get out of it is that Aaron wouldn't answer certain things, but then he trapped him in certain ways of statements, and then Aaron was trying to come back to answer those, to correct those statements, and then Nathan was just, I don't know if it's a straw man or what you call it when you attack a person like that and get an argument. Jose saying that Aaron lost the debate. He's all butthurt because Aaron is an atheist. Yeah, I did hear Jose say something about that, but it's like we were discussing that earlier about the debate over on Jose's.
Yeah, I didn't really see it as I never saw that it developed into a true debate. There was, just a bunch of over talking and yelling back and forth and lack of moderation.
Yeah, well, the only time it went all downhill is when they were allowed to speak back and forward to each other, which is where the moderator needs to step in it straight away to allow the debate to happen, and not so much just over talk and everything. And that's not because the moderator has any knowledge of the subject matter. It's just knowing when somebody states something, or they're questioning something, or whatever, they should know when the person responds in the first few words whether that person is actually listening to the question or either way, and the moderator should be able to jump in at that point and say, "Excuse me, you didn't answer, you didn't address the actual question," and the moderator should be remembering what the question was or the statement for the other person to have answered, and whether it doesn't matter who it is, either side, and that's where the moderating side of it should be there to control that aspect of the conversation. Yeah, that's right, Sean. As Aaron said, he led him into a false sense of security by stating that he had this and he had that. Yes, we can come on debate. I'll have this for you. And then when he got there, he didn't have anything. But Aaron didn't really know what Nathan Thompson was all about. So
yeah, anytime I hear any flat earther say something about bringing a model to the table, we're going to present this or that, that gets my attention. I want to see what the hell they got. And it even to the ridiculous part about QE and Nathan presenting Google Earth as their flat Earth model.
Yeah.
That was great.
That's crazy, yeah.
Yeah, absolute nut.
No, I think it's developed into a thing with the flat. To be a flat earther is not so much have a model or a position on the shape of the Earth for them. It's questioning and ridiculing the other person and pointing out observations that aren't right to them because they don't understand it.
Right. Well, Jose took the position in a couple of 3 shows that he restricted them from made them focus on presenting evidence or talking about how flat Earth works. And after a couple of shows, it kind of, Lemon Bird would come in and talk, but that's it. There wasn't anybody else would come on.
Mm. No, you don't need Lemon Bird or anyone like that to come on because that just ruins it.
Yeah. He's got a lot of woo.
That was that Brian Leake that was on who did that experiment live with the fan thing. I'll give him some credit. At least he was having a go at trying to do something, even though the things all the things that he spouts all the time. I thought, show something on live on camera. Get your fan out and your umbrella out.
Oh, he's definitely the real deal. His misconceptions are real, but he does get out there, make an effort, and he does try,
Well, he's got that one where he dropped a not a bowling ball, a golf ball and a ping pong ball or something. He stood up on the roof.
Right.
I was thinking, shit, is he going to fall off the roof? That'd be catch that on camera.
Yeah.
Yes, some call him Brain Leak, Sean. I don't know if you say it to his face, do they?
I've heard all kinds of things said to him. I've heard him say some things too. When he really gets mad, you just got to kick him.
Yeah, he goes a bit about 100 mile an hour sometimes, when he gets going. But he didn't sound too bad there at the end there when I came in.
No, he did. He did really good today, and he's done. He communicates pretty good about half the time. But when he gets mad and goes to yelling and cussing, and you can't handle him. Jose just has to kick him. But he'll come back tomorrow.
Yeah, he'll be back. You'll get the regulars. Was Jose starting to get the regulars coming back on his stream, or is it still a bit slow at the moment?
It's I would say it's a little bit slow, but not really slow. We've been having some pretty good shows on a daily basis.
Yeah, I miss them.
Yeah, they all team.
I miss them because they're so late at my night, early morning. Like I was lucky to catch this morning because I had to go out early, so I was lucky to catch the tail end of it. So he must have started late my night, early hours my morning for that one. Well, I haven't really got anything else for you guys. I was just going to review the Team Skeptic one, but Aaron had to leave early, so that cut that short. They're still going with the video over there. I haven't got anyone else that wanted to drop in.
Well, I'm about 10 miles from my delivery, so I'll be dropping anyway.
Okay. Oh, you're in the car, are you? Or truck? Yeah.
Big truck, yeah. Yeah. Drop my load and go find somewhere to park. But thanks for having me on, man. I appreciate it.
Right. Yeah. I don't know if you've been on before or not. I can't remember. I forget some people if they've ever been on my streams before in the past. No Name's gone quiet too. He was
you
brushing
just woke me up, Terry.
I didn't wake you up. I'm not speaking that loud.
Well, somebody did.
Oh, that was Howard.
No, it definitely wasn't Howard. That was you or No Name.
No Name hasn't spoke for a few minutes. He's still muted.
Yeah, I've been awake for a couple. Yeah, for a little.
I thought we'd bore you enough to go to sleep, Alan. So.
Well, I was. I went off. I come back.
Sorry, Terry. I had a phone call.
Oh, you're allowed. You're allowed to.
Thanks. It's good to know. mighty kind, charitable of you.
I'm very charitable.
I get that. You're a giver. You give Alan a hard time all the time.
Oh, Alan. Yeah.
Free of charge. Free of charge.
Yeah. Oh, I can't be too hard on Alan because he's my tech support.
True that. Has he figured out how to keep you from muting yourself all the time?
No, I don't think he can do that because I've got the mute button on the headset, and if I go to cough or whatever, or if I walk up and go and make a coffee, I'll mute myself so you don't hear everything, and then I'll sit back down and you used to be talking, and then I'll go to say something, and okay then, don't listen to me then. And I'll sit here and I'll keep doing it, and then a couple of people will be having a conversation between the two of them, and then I'll go to say something else again. No, still didn't hear me. Okay then, I'll shut up then. And then I go and check me mute thing. Oh shit, I was muted.
Happens to the best of us.
Yeah. Well, speaking of coffee, that's what I was going to go and do.
Well, press play first.
Oh, you can listen to a bit more of this debate. They're still sharing. They're still doing that. So you can listen to that for a few more minutes. How do I do that?
To just leave.
There we go.
He'll consider it a win for himself if he
he's trying to trigger him.
Leave. Aaron's not triggered. He just doesn't want to be a part of this bullshit ass discussion when the guy's not there to have an intellectual discussion with him about the shape of the earth. It doesn't matter that he doesn't believe what Aaron says. He just needs to come from a point of intellectual honesty, and he just can't. He just doesn't know how to. I don't know if it's intentional or unintentional, but he can't fucking come from a point of intellectual honesty. He's mentally incapable of doing so.
Yeah, Aaron is well known for he doesn't tolerate bad faith actors. So yeah, I'm not surprised that he did leave.
I don't either. Maybe that's why me and him get along.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
using his map, he won't do that. Now he's telling me that he won't even side with the map he sent me. No, he's got nothing. He failed the minimum criteria. I agreed I would not come on this show unless he produced both. He's produced neither. I'm gone.
I have nothing.
You have nothing. Argument. That's correct. If you don't have a model that shows predictions that you can verify, then you've got butt kiss. Nothing.
Fallacy. It's a reification fallacy. Look how triggered you are.
You've got butt kiss. He doesn't understand. No, yeah. Go ahead, fight.
The reification fallacy is what they do. The reification fallacy is when you treat a model as real, right? We're not doing that. They are the ones saying that the model is real and it's wrong, therefore the globe Earth isn't a thing.
Yeah,
they don't understand what a model is. A model is a predictive mathematical description of something. And it might not even include all of the relevant data. You know, they're simplified sometimes.
Well, the reification fallacy only applies to abstracts and hypotheses. And given that the model is a theory, the highest standard, reification fallacy doesn't apply.
Right. And here's the thing. It is a reification fallacy for them. When you say it like this, you say, we take the reality of the shape of the Earth, right, which is a sphere. We pull that sphere out into a polar projection map. All right, so that is the model of the Earth, of reality as viewed from above and splayed out. That is a legit thing. They actually have uses for it and whatnot. So, it doesn't always have to be centered on the pole. It can be centered on the South Pole. It can be centered on the equator. It can be centered anywhere it needs to be centered. But that's the whole purpose, is that is a type of model for the globe Earth. And what they've done is they've used that model and said, this is reality. By that definition, they are committing the reification fallacy by using the polar projection model of the globe Earth as a description of real reality.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
They don't. Yeah. Even the fallacies that they push, they don't understand the meanings of.
Bullshit. Hat trick fallacy. Bottom up fallacy. What's the bottom? Has anybody looked that up? What's the bottom up fallacy, guys? I really want to know.
There's no such thing.
No. Yeah. What we found out was that he is taking the bottom up observation that ships go over the curves, like disappear from the bottom up, and he's turning it in. He's basically turning it into a fallacy, but it actually means something else, because the actual bottom up fallacy, what it actually is just a logical. It's just a logical error. It was an error in logic, which basically is like. My banker John is nice, therefore all bankers are nice. That's the bottom up fallacy, because you're basically assuming.
That one's real. That one's real.
It is real, but he's misapplying it by referring it to the.
Okay.
Yeah,
well, let's write the Philosophical Society of the World, and let's go ahead and have them add that second definition of the bottom up fallacy to also include. When a globe tard looks out and sees a ship disappearing from the bottom up, they're not actually observing that. They're just committing the globe up or the bottom up fallacy. And we know. Hey, let's go ahead and let's just ahead of time for Nathan, because he's gonna call this out eventually. Let's also go ahead and submit the tangent to my feet fallacy.
Yeah. Well, flat earthers, thanks to Speak Truth, Seek Truth, we all know now of the Neil deGrasse Tyson fallacy the flat earthers like to use.
Okay, let's get through this. It's about 10 more minutes, and then before Aaron just says "fuck you" and leaves. But he does say it, and it's the greatest shit in the world.
I made this arrangement with James. I put minimum criteria on here. This jackass failed both.
Nathan?
This jackass failed both.
Would it be fair? Would you concede that you don't have those things, or would you actually argue you do?
I don't subscribe to a model. He does.
Yep,
I don't subscribe to a map either. I'm not a cartographer. Those are not my arguments that I have a map. My arguments are the Earth doesn't curve, it doesn't spin, and we can't have gas pressure without a container. Now, Aaron, if you don't want to talk about any of my points, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Oh, yeah. If you have to have a point first. You have to have both a model and a map. You have neither. You have nothing.
You have nothing. That's another audio clip,
Nathan,
right there.
yeah.
You don't have a map.
You need to listen to that.
You have nothing. What do you have, Nathan? You have imagination. That's all you do. You imagine this to be flat. And you're good at it. You're really good at it. You've convinced yourself that it's flat. Your imagination, your self-belief in your imagination is second to none in this world. You should be studied by psychiatrists, psychologists, and fucking anthropologists to see if you're even fucking human. Like, are you some offshoot of human
he's
that we
not
need
human.
to fucking, that we need to start classifying? Like flat earther, homo flat earther? You know what I mean? Is that what we're going to name you? God damn, they're dumb as fuck.
Falsification is independent of replacement.
Sorry, you have to have something to falsify. You presented nothing.
Your model that says we spin 1,040 miles an hour.
Yeah, I can prove that using your map.
No.
I can show that, but you're not.
You don't spin in miles per hour, you fucking moron. I hate it when flat earthers say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no shit, right? It's 15 degrees.
Oh shit, sorry,
jackasses.
I appear to have fallen into Nathan's head again.
Careful, it's full of sinkholes.
It's just empty.
Yeah, I know.
There's nothing in here.
I'm in there
Team,
with you.
You in here? Team.
Unfortunately,
I can't find you. There's no light or anything. And it
Eventually
just smells
we'll
like
find a
depression.
It does smell like depression in here. Extreme depression, loneliness, and spit. You know, like spit is lubricant. That's what it smells like.
Guys, beware the hydrothermal vents of desperation.
Yeah, right.
Oh God.
I'm not going to, because you came here unprepared, sir.
You can prove we spin using my flat stationary map.
Yep.
I have paper.
Well,
I have paper to throw around.
We rotate.
Why don't we? Is there anything from the opening that you guys?
Fight. Vincent Crotwell from the chat does warn us of something. Okay, we need to take this shit seriously. If we aren't careful and don't find a light soon, we may step on Nathan Thompson's 1/2 brain cell that he has left over. So be careful not to step on that, or you could do permanent brain damage to that guy. Okay, back to the.
Oh, was that the thing that I found just now? I was hungry. I picked that little thing up and ate it.
One of his previous presentations of being a Coriolis denier, while expressing how he does not know what the fuck Coriolis is.
Denier.
And it's amazing that his
He says he's a Coriolis denier without knowing what the fuck Coriolis even is.
description was so goddamn ignorant.
Alright, you're a beast.
And saying that I was a denialist.
Good thing we've got access
Because
to
he
the
doesn't know
internet in
what
these
the fuck it
days.
is.
Oh fuck! I'm sorry, I meant to
Aaron,
turn
you
that
call
off.
yourself a science communicator. Why don't you communicate for the audience?
Communicate the science. Okay, this is the one
Why
thing.
don't
did.
you
Just the
Coriolis-
one thing I'll do.
Why are you interrupting me again? Why can't you just exercise?
Because you have nothing. Because you have nothing. You have nothing and you know it. That's why he's interrupting you. Because when you're talking, anyone listening is wasting time. That's why. That's why he interrupts you. That's why you should always be
Close
interrupted.
control. Maybe drink a little.
Has anyone seen my TIE fighter?
Wait for me to finish
my
speaking.
TIE fighter here.
Yep. That would be great, Aaron.
I am not going to platform this guy who
you're a
can't show
science
up with any of the
communicator.
minimum criteria.
Why don't you?
I
go
was
ahead
going to
and
defend the
communicate?
Coriolis
Oh, now he's gonna
explanation
interrupt me
because
again.
this guy clearly
guy.
doesn't know what the hell it is.
Poor guy.
After debating some supposedly 10,000 people, citing the Coriolis many, many times, and he doesn't know what the fuck it is? No, I'm not platforming this asshole anymore. He came with nothing, and you were supposed to guarantee that he would have both, or I'm out. And now he's saying that the thing he sent me, he didn't send me, and he's not going to stand by it. No, fuck him.
I just didn't say it was
He's
an
got
accurate
nothing
message.
falsifiable. He's got nothing testable. We've literally got nothing to talk about.
You're the one running away. I still have to talk about second law of thermodynamics and the Coriolis.
The
which
fuck
you
you
didn't
know about
Now
that?
you're interrupting me.
You know about that.
That was such a genuine reaction. Hold on, let's scoot it back there. That was like you got to appreciate the rhetoric that he has, the response, but it's the
I am
genuine.
taking that
like,
for clips as well.
Yeah, it's the genuine like confusion that Aaron Roth thinks of when he thinks Nathan Oakley's about to school him on the second law of thermodynamics. He's like, "What the fuck do you know about that?"
No, team. Thermal dynamics.
Thermal dynamics.
Expressing how he does not know what the fuck Coriolis is, and it's amazing that his description was so goddamned ignorant, yet he was criticizing me and saying that I was a denialist because he doesn't know what the fuck it is.
Well, Aaron, you call yourself a science communicator. Why don't you communicate for the audience?
Communicate to science. Okay, this is the one thing I'll do. It's the one thing I'll do.
Why are you interrupting me again? Why can't you just exercise some impulse control? Maybe drink a little more, Aaron. Okay? Wait for me to finish speaking.
No.
Yeah, that would be great, Aaron.
I am not going to platform this guy who can't show up with any of the minimum criteria.
Why don't you?
I was going to defend the Coriolis explanation because this guy clearly doesn't know what the hell it is. After debating some supposedly 10,000 people, citing the Coriolis many, many times, and he doesn't know what the fuck it is? No, I'm not platforming this asshole anymore. He came with nothing, and you were supposed to guarantee that he would have both, or I'm out. And now he's saying that the thing he sent me, he didn't send me, and he's not going to stand by it. No, fuck him.
I just didn't say it was.
He's got nothing falsifiable.
No, fuck him.
He's got nothing testable.
I love it.
We've literally got nothing to talk about.
Well, you're the one running away. I still have to talk about second law of thermodynamics and the Coriolis.
The fuck you know about that?
Now you're interrupting.
Fuck you know about that.
Yeah, we're gonna have to definitely have those clips on hand. Those are some amazing audio clips right there. This whole debate, like when I first listened to this, I was like, oh my God, this is some hilarious shit.
Hold on one second.
I know you're triggered.
So why don't we do this?
See, all he can do then is insult me and lie about me, and that's it. He doesn't have a model. He doesn't have a map. He doesn't have anything falsifiable. All he can do is the argument from incredulity, where he tries to show how he doesn't understand something so that he thinks he can put me on the defensive. No, if he's going to be arguing a scientific position, and this is not a religious position like he lies to make it out to be, it's a scientific position, which means he has to bring a theory that accounts for all of the data better. And that theory had better been able to make predictions that we can verify. He's got nothing. So he's literally nothing to talk about. We have nothing to debate about.
And he couldn't have fucking nailed it better than that. He absolutely
Aaron Ra is
dropped
badass.
he dropped the fucking hammer.
Do you think Aaron Ra would be my dad?
No,
he's already my dad.
He's already my dad.
I'll fight you for him.
Get the fuck off my inheritance, Jo.
That's mine, man. I want this 250,000 subs when he dies.
That look from Aaron Ra describes it all. Like, what the fuck is this guy even doing here? Like, does this guy even understand what the word debate means? We're not here to fucking discuss your feelings. We're here to discuss the empirical evidence that supports or refutes one of two positions. And you didn't bring anything, Nathan. You have nothing.
I know.
That he didn't even present a position for Aaron Ra to attack. That's the thing. That's what he does. It's like his whole fucking
I'd fast
shtick
forward
is to
it
say,
for you, no,
let me
but
get
I
in a
can't.
debate where I cannot be attacked. How do I do that? Well, first off, don't take a position. Take a position without taking a position. So my position is against your position.
What's
so
that, Bubba?
I
couldn't hear what you said.
No, I'm reading your side chat in the peanut gallery, and I can't fast forward it past
so
that
that you
bit.
cannot attack me.
Oh, I got
that's
you.
Not fair.
Yeah, man, I'm not trying to be like a
that's
whiner or
not an
anything. I
intellectually
just,
honest position
I
to come
remember now
I'm
why
sorry,
I stopped
fuck
watching.
you,
it.
Nathan.
I have to say I'm
Fuck
officially
him. I'm annoying.
I'm officially a pantheist. Aaron Ra joins
I'll
my pantheon
watch their
along with
debates
Dick
if
Potato
they're
and Matt Dillahunty.
if they got the flat earther type person on
Well,
the
we're almost done,
on the other
'cause I think
side,
Aaron
but
Ra's about had enough of his fucking
it's just
bullshit.
listening to their side of it
Just to
that's
be
more
sure, that I
entertaining
understand.
than
So,
team
the
than
two
Craig's
things that
or
Arnie
team's side.
mentioned wanting to discuss, is it? Would you say that you do have those things? To be fair, it is a flat versus globe type of debate. So, like,
James, they don't have a model.
James trying his hardest to be his moderator.
Wait, did he just say that we don't have a model?
So he looked so lost during that.
Yeah,
Nathan just said that we don't have a model.
James just he needs to either turn up his mic's level so he can talk over the people debating, because he sounds too soft on his end to talk over him.
Understand the science behind the model, therefore we don't have the model.
He doesn't understand what science and math models are. What a moron.
You're seeing globes. We all have globes. I can look up
There you
Google
go.
Earth right now and show you a globe.
Globe.
I know you
Fucking
guys.
Google
In
Earth,
fact,
another
in this
model of the
discussion, I'd
fucking globe
intended
Earth.
to do that when I was going to show you several giant gaping holes in in the map that you sent me, which you now deny that you sent me. So if you give me nothing that we can test, we literally have nothing to say. So we're done.
I don't deny that I sent you it. I said it's not accurate. I said.
Well, then why the fuck did you send it?
Well, why would you send it?
Yeah, what good is it?
Damn,
I'm going to
Nathan,
send
you
you
moron.
an inaccurate treasure
Like,
map.
what did you
there.
think?
Here's a map of the flat Earth, but it's not an accurate.
It won't actually get you to the treasure, Terry, but I mean, it's my evidence that the treasure exists.
Oh,
okay.
So, I'm not going to get. I don't need a shovel.
No, I'd say hold off on that, until I can get you an accurate map.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it blows my mind that somebody would send somebody a piece of evidence and say, but it's not really accurate, right? Like, Terry, I'm going to need you to provide me some mathematical equations as evidence for your theory. And you send me a bunch of just scribbles that look like a mathematical equation, but you admit that it's not really accurate. Like what good does that do me? I can't test your equations to see if they line up with reality. I can only take your word for it that they look an awful lot like equations should look.
Or I could tell you the names of people that wrote the equations, and then you'd have to figure out what the equations were yourself. But I did cite the people that wrote the equations that come up with them.
That's fair. That's right. I'm sure somebody was credited with the inaccurate map that he provided.
I wonder if it was one of his pamphlets that he gave Aaron.
Well, yeah, he puts them on his pamphlets and then denies that that's the map he uses, and that's the dishonesty. That I mean, I've called him out on it on several occasions when I've run into him on Jim Panda's or somebody else's server. And I just don't understand why he has a map that he trots out as a map, but then he refutes having a map or a model. And he shows things that look an awful lot like a middle school science fair project that would be, relatable to a model, yet he doesn't have a model. So why do you keep trotting these images out of the sun going in figure eights and loop-de-loops and things like that? Well, that's a model. I mean, he just either doesn't understand what a model is or refuses to embrace a model because he realizes it can be picked apart, because that's what science really does.
But I don't like using the word glober and flurfer in an explanation, but the Glober type person that goes to debate these type of people, I see them all the time fall into the trap of when the flurfer says something, you answer him, and they answer back with something that's not really relevant to what you answer back, and the conversation's like it's not going anywhere, and then you lose the point of what the first bits that were going to be spoke about, like their first assertions or whatever, and it's not, you don't hold their feet to the fire from the very beginning, and it always just goes down this rabbit hole of other topics, and then you end up with an argument, and it's just typical like what's happened here with this debate.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. That's why I started utilizing this old trick called the social or conversational currency theory, where I don't owe you an answer to anything until you have answered one of mine, right? And that's with an honest answer, right? And the same way with topics, like I'll be glad to move on to another topic as soon as we have as you have earned enough currency to do so. And so, like, I just keep a running tally in my head now of whether or not they've earned any coins, head coins, conversation money, to allow them an answer or moving on to a different topic. And I tried it out on somebody the other night on Jose's, and it worked beautifully. John Bernard's. So he started his argument with the sun is not the source of daylight, and then ended his argument after it didn't hold up to any scrutiny whatsoever with the sun is ultimately the source of daylight. And I did it by just constantly saying, well, you and I both agree to this, right? And so I got him into a yes pattern, and eventually he just conceded the point. But I'm sure with his forthnesia, he will completely forget that conversation tomorrow and just reset, do the chemo reset.
Yeah, chemo reset, yeah. Yeah, it's very hard to hold them to that one point of something because they respond with something that then you have to respond to, which throws you off. And it's a good tactic in one way, but it's a bad tactic it's a bad conversation to listen to.
Oh, sure. No, I wouldn't do it in like polite conversation or anything. That's rude. But I think in a strategic conversation, which is what these are. I mean, they're ultimately persuasive arguments, right? I mean, we're not really debating each other. We're just making persuasive arguments. And all their side has is persuasive argument. They don't have any hard evidence, so they've had to perfect their strategic conversational style, while we haven't, because I can often stutter and then pull out a piece of evidence, like hardcore firm evidence, and say, well, this is my evidence, refute that, pick it apart, test it yourself, see what what you come up with. And I don't have to be eloquent in those situations, and that's a bit of a crutch when you're not a well polished conversationalist or somebody who's just good at arguing off the cuff, because that person immediately loses respect for you when you lose your flow, right? If you can't command the conversation, they lose all respect for you. So that's really what I think we have to learn from flat earthers is that conversational or argumentation style that says, I'm on point. I do not let you deviate off point. I will not answer your question until you answer mine. And I don't feel obligated to answer any of your sea lion questions that I've answered before. There's no point in retreading old ground. Let's either move on with this conversation or drop it. And I think if you adopt that it sounds pretty hostile, but I'm telling you, I talked with John for like 4 hours and we never yelled at each other. And that's saying something, because I'm a yeller.
Yeah, well, I've never had really any real debate with any flurfer. I remember when I first came onto Discord and YouTube, going way back, and I think I went into Gems one time, and Chemo was in there, and the guys threw me in the arena with Chemo, and Chemo just couldn't get anything out of me compared to what I was saying. I wasn't trying to agree or disagree with anything that he was saying, and I think it threw him off.
Real close to the vest.
Yeah, and I think it threw him off in that conversational debate type tactic, because then I could.
Yeah, he's used to controlling the flow of the conversation.
It's like as if somebody was throwing something at you and you just keep deflecting, and then as soon as the gap opened up where they've thrown what they've thrown at you, and you go, right, now it's my turn.
Yeah. It reminds me a lot of Muhammad Ali's rope-a-dope strategy. You know, when he fought much bigger and stronger opponents, he would just let them punch themselves out by, kind of using the ropes of the ring to help, act as shock absorbers. And so he could just keep taking the beating, and it wasn't really doing much damage because his defense was excellent, and he had the shock absorbers of the rope of the ring to help act as a spring, and the guy would just punch themselves out.
Well, that's a similar tactic. What I think would work with, you just let them go on with their with their rhetoric for a few minutes, get out whatever they want to get out, and then come at them with a question.
The only person that doesn't work on, though, is Austin Whitsitt. I have it on pretty good authority that he held a 12-hour-long monologue in Jim Panda server earlier.
Okay.
Yeah, he did.
Was that you telling me that, Howard?
I mentioned it earlier. I dropped by there several times, and he was there. He was still talking.
Wow. I think it's the Adderall, man. I mean, he's so twitchy and sped up. He's like watching a normal person at 1.5 speed on YouTube.
Well, on the debate with the main surveyor, I thought he was a little animated.
Yeah, that's one way to put it.
Speaking of gyms,
he's another one. He's another one like that reminds me of Nathan. It's just this. He's like a 10 out of 10 on the Dunning-Kruger scale, right? Like I would never get into a debate with a physicist and then tell them that they're wrong, right? Like that would just be the height of arrogance and just misplaced confidence, right? And these people just
he'll refute something they say, and then he'll say, "I win." That's it.
Yeah, he'll just use nuh-uh or a laugh, you know, like one of those kind of dismissive kind of laughs, that real fake shit they do. And again, that's not an objection. Like that's
it's just the pigeon shitting on the chessboard, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, 20 million miles an hour through space. Oh, right. Okay. Like that's it. Okay, that's all you got is incredulity or nuh-uh. Like I accuse SC Montreal of all the time. The power of nuh-uh compels you.
Yeah. SC's saving grace with me is he's the kind of person. If I broke down the road from him and I had his phone number, I could call him and he'd come help me. You know.
You know, it's ironic you say that, because I really do feel a connection to a lot of the people that we argue with on a regular basis. I mean, they may be dumber than dirt, and they may be just incredulous and in a cult or whatever. But I feel like we've all spent so much time arguing with each other that it would make for a fun cookout.
Yeah. Yeah.
I keep getting spam in the bloody peanut, in the, you know, your chat underneath your videos. I keep getting the spams all the time. I keep reporting it, but I don't know how you're supposed to block them in general.
So they're just the comments in the, not in the live stream, but in the comment section?
Yeah, under the comment section of your video. It's unwanted content, what they're doing. What do you call it?
Oh, they're just linking to another.
Yeah, well, I can't explain what it is. I've just deleted them and reported them.
I got you.
I don't know if they show up on the videos. I'll just check to see if it happens on most of them. Well, not every single one, but and it's after it's been posted. That's the problem.
I try to avoid comment threads these days. I have an obsessive compulsive disorder when it comes to responding to them. Like I just can't help myself. I'm like a dog with a bone. I just can't let it go. And it really just clogs up my notifications, something fierce.
Where am I? Yeah, I'm stuck on 470 subscribers now. I lost about 3 or 4 of them. Somebody's subbed, but I'm just stuck on that 470. I'm not complaining, but just have
it's a hell of a lot more subs than I've got.
No, I've been
pull it. Go ahead.
No, you're right. You're right.
No, I was going to say you could pull an R1 and throw a fit. Maybe you could get up to 1,000.
Why do I need more people sub to me?
Oh.
Play the guilt trip, yeah. Or I could buy.
I don't know. Hire some hire, but invite some like hot gals to hang out on your panels. You'll get some subs. Thirsty guys follow boobies. I've heard. I don't know that. I don't know that for a fact.
It's a rumor. Yeah, there's a rumor getting around.
Mm-hmm. I've been told.
Yeah. Oh, Brainy Beaver was trying to give me some advice there too. One day I went live on the panel one time. It was just me and him actually, and I've done the same for Playing a Walk. I've been on he's just me and him, and Brainy Beaver said I need to put some more pizzazz or whatever you call it into the live streams for the openings and thumbnails, and try to make it like everyone else's live streams thumbnail so it stands out. I don't know.
I find that I enjoy, and I'll stay in a live stream longer too, even if the conversation seems to get a little laggy or light. If there's something to do, and I've noticed that some people have the thing with their live streams where they can play games in it, duel people or go on treasure hunts and shit. I don't know. There's no thought involved in it at all. It's obviously some just random number generator, but it's a little bit of addictive. So.
Yeah, I've thought about playing that Quiplash and things like that, or maybe live stream a game that I can play on, like some people do. I don't know.
Well, that'd be fun. And I also find that I'm more likely to tune in to a live stream if it's at a regular time. So I'm kind of trained, to go back to it. And if you are going to stream a game, for instance, make it on a regular night, and that way you'll because I might tune into a show and I have no interest in watching someone play Red Dead Redemption, and I'm just gonna bounce, right? And if I come back, say, next Thursday, and you're doing it again, well, I'm just going to assume that is your content now. Like, this is what I'm going to encounter every time I come here. But if it's only on a Tuesday and I check back on Wednesday and you're back to the Industrial Revolution or shit, just a bullshit hangout, just chatting, to me, that's a lot of fun, especially when you interact with the audience a lot. They feel more, or I don't want to speak for them, I always feel more tuned in and loyal, if the person streaming or the panel streaming is paying attention to what's going on in the live chat.
Well, that's like when Paul does the quiz part. I always remind Paul to keep an eye on I don't know how many because I'm only doing this all on one monitor, and I keep an eye on the peanut gallery at the same time as the quiz, so that way they feel like that they're part of the quiz by when they do their answers, and I point out who's right and who's wrong or whatever, or somebody makes a funny comment in between the questions.
Yeah. Well, I imagine it is tough to try to bounce back between the internal chat on Zoom and then the live stream, and there's like a 30-second lag at least, so delay, so that's gonna.
Yeah, well, I have to wait for the comment. Yeah, the comments might come in a few seconds later, but I'll keep an eye. I keep an eye on that. Plus answering the questions at the same time.
Yeah,
I'm where I'm going, so I got to go. I'll talk to you guys later.
Well, thanks for dropping by, Howard. I may
yes,
try
sir.
To,
thanks for having me.
I may try to do an afternoon stream on Mondays a bit more often if I can.
Cool. Yeah, I'm always here.
Okay then.
All right, have a good one.
You too. Thank you. I think Alan should be asleep by now.
Oh, I was. You woke me up again, though, didn't you?
No. Will you stop waking Alan up? I'm trying to get him to go to sleep.
The best part of waking up is no name in your ear. I think that's how that jingle goes. I just wrote it though. It's a complete original, so it's rough.
Yeah,
it's rough.
Well, I can't get copyright strike for an original.
Exactly.
Well, I might let Alan go to sleep and might end it here. I know we've been only going for about an hour and a couple of hours, but how many people we ended up watching? See, we've got 10 people who were watching.
Probably nobody expected you to be on this time of day, so.
No one expected me to be. I didn't book it in. See, that was the thing.
Terry is the Spanish Inquisition of panel shows.
Nobody expects Terry Davis. Oh man.
What?
So where are you going to go after the Industrial Revolution? Out of curiosity.
Well, actually, Industrial Revolution's plural. There was more than one.
I was not aware.
Yeah. I'm sort of basically touching on the second Industrial Revolution compared to the first one.
I'm not familiar with the term Second Industrial Revolution, so that'll be a learning experience for me.
Yeah.
What era does the Second Industrial Revolution take place?
Late 1800s.
Oh, okay. I just always looked at the Industrial Revolution as basically a continuum from the the late 1700s to the late 1800s. So
yeah. Well, that's covering basically the original Industrial Revolution time period when coal was mined and they invented steam engines and all that sort of stuff. The windmills started grinding up flour more productively than people doing it by hand, and it's industry because the industry took off.
Yeah. More efficiency through technology, through applied technology.
And see, now we're up to the motor car, how it started developing.
And then reached its zenith with the Holden. It's been all downhill since the late 70s, right?
What, you mean them flipping Vauxhalls, Terry?
Yeah.
Or a Chevy, or it's a Chevy in America.
Oh. Yeah, Chevys are Fords are pretty popular over here too.
Fords, the best cars in the world.
Hey, I told you about saying the F word on here.
Ford.
Isn't that short for fix or repair daily?
Yeah, or fail on race days. Or
fail on race day, yeah.
Or full of rust and dints. Found on rubbish dump.
No, found on roadside dead.
Found on roadside dead. That's what I used to sell Chevys, and we always had a joke about Ford whenever they come out with a new model F-150. We'd say, hey, have you heard about the new heated tailgate that they offer on the new F-150? And people would say, no, what are you talking about? I'd say, yeah, that way your hands don't get cold when you're pushing it home in the winter.
Yeah. or somewhere to sit and keep warm while you're waiting for the tow truck.
Yeah, that too. Oh, man. Fell for it every time.
Well, I'll let you guys go. I'll probably hang in Discord and probably play a game or something. I don't know what I'll do. Or there's no one's
brother.
down in Gems at the moment by the look of it.
Austin probably ran everybody off.
I'll wander around. I'll wander around the Discord and see if there's anyone around. It's only usually Gems or AT2 that I might drop into. I see Scott's.
Well, you'll probably see me around somewhere too, then, brother.
Okay, no. You go to sleep, Alan.
Yeah, I'll see you in the morning or whatever.
Yeah, I'll see you in the morning down on Discord.
If you don't want to be woken up by my voice,
in 2 hours.
What's that, Scott?
Alan needs to go to sleep so I can get up in 2 hours for another stream.
I'm not doing another stream today, Scott.
It's 3 o'clock in the bloody morning again.
All right then. I can't see anyone else left out in the peanut gallery, so no one's typed anything lately. We're down to 10. Well, there's 10 people. The 10 people were putting up with us. So if I book this in for next Monday afternoon, I can't guarantee exactly what time. My time would be about 12. Say if it was 12 o'clock my time. It's 10 to 2 here. So it'll be 10 to 3 UK. It'll be 10 to 10 PM. See, 10 to 10 PM is okay for the US time. But UK time, it'd have to be earlier. So, yeah, 12 o'clock. If I try to do it at 12 o'clock my time,
that'll be 11 PM for me, wouldn't it?
Yeah, 2:54 AM now, Alan. So that'll be 2 hours ago. So that'll be 12 o'clock, midnight. No. What have I got here? 2:54 AM. That's nearly 3 o'clock.
It's 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, so, and it's nearly 2 o'clock here, so that would have been 2 hours ago for me.
Yeah, it's just now about 9 p.m. here, and that's usually the time of day that I wake up. But on Mondays, I'm still doing that swing shift switch back, so I'm usually awake well before that.
Yeah, well, I can't please everybody all the time, so I stick to me Wednesday and Saturday times, and then Mondays seems to be the only other free day I have in the afternoon where I could do a bit of an after before pre-show. So
yeah, that sounds like fun. Just put out a little bit more advance notice next time, and
yeah, well, I didn't think of it. I didn't think of it until I came home today and I seen Jose was still live. And I thought, oh, okay, I might do a live stream later. Then some people might be around.
Yeah, well, Jose started quite late today.
Yeah.
Well, yesterday rather. from my point of view here, yesterday.
Yeah. All right then. Well, I'll end the stream here. I'll kick you all out, and I'll say good night to whoever's in the night time, and good day for anyone in the daytimes.